It was so strange receiving that letter from Lawrence. I guess getting a letter from anyone after they die is strange. It's sad his dying like this. So young, so vibrant. A real rags to riches story he had. Oh, he did well for himself. The years we spent together were very special. Oh, it seems I miss him more now than I have before. Oh, of course, divorces are never easy.
Oh, Larry was always scheming, always something up his sleeve. This one takes the cake. I mean, to have all of his women come to his house for his burial and the reading of the will. This guy is too cool. You know, I'm gonna miss this sucker. I wonder what he's up to with this one. Thank God I never married him. It's probably why we were able to remain such good friends. Can't say it's that way with the rest of the women. What a group. This is quite a scene. Actually, I think I'm going to enjoy this.
Well, I suppose if he's inviting us to the reading of the will, it must mean we'll be getting something. Certainly looks like he's been living well. I wonder if the house is part of the will. I certainly deserve it. I was married to him the longest, gave him my best years. Granted, I spent the money with Lair, clothes, cars, entertained. I still feel I didn't get enough in the divorce, though. He robbed me of a career. I'm sure I could be very successful if things were different, but I have a lifestyle to keep up now. This trip better pay off.
I resent having to respond to this man even after he's dead. I mean, I didn't like him alive, and I'm not feeling better about him now. I suppose I should feel a bit more sympathetic since we are all here to plant him, but honestly, I can't pretend to feel any other way. What the hell am I doing here?
I can hardly believe Lawrence, even in death, is still trying to humiliate me. Just being in the company of his assorted women is distasteful. I refuse to stoop to their petty dialogues about Lawrence that are bound to take place. The house looks a little run down. He never knew how to handle the help. One must always know how to manage one's household staff. I just don't know how I'll be able to tolerate these women.
I feel so bad about Larry. We always had such a good time together. I mean, he's become my best friend. So young at heart, like a kid all the time. He said I made him feel carefree because I'm carefree. I liked that. I liked making him feel good after all he's done for me. I guess I could have taken the wrong path had it not been for Larry guiding me and teaching me. God, how should I introduce myself to everyone? I want to do everything right. I'm so nervous about these women. I want to sound intelligent and witty, so they don't snub their noses at me. I think it's just wonderful that we're all here at Lawrence's house, having dinner at Lawrence's table. People who love him and who've loved him.
Are you serious? Give me a break. Love him my butt. I can't stand him. For me, it's curiosity, and that is it.
I detest his plots. It's humiliating.
I wish you wouldn't speak about him this way. I love him. And I miss him an awful lot.
Wait a minute. I really miss him too, you know? He was a terrific guy. He was a great friend. I know we all want to know what the will is about.
Well, I'm here to collect. And let's face it, so are all of you. He shortchanged me alive. Maybe he'll pay up now. After all, I have a lifestyle to maintain.
Yeah, we've all read about it in the papers. Party hats cost a lot of money, don't they, honey? Why don't you try getting off your lazy butt and getting yourself a job?
To this day, I still don't know what he saw in you. Can I help it if photographers like to take my picture? After all, I've done some acting.
Oh, is that what you call it?
Well, what was it about Lawrence that attracted all of us? We must have some fond memories. All relationships start out with love and passion and all those wonderful things. Lovey, what was it about Lawrence that attracted you?
Well, when I met Larry, he had no money. I don't know why I'm telling you all this, but anyway. That's right. He met me on the wrong side of the tracks. He was passing through town doing some odd jobs, and I was doing hard labor in some laundry. But there was something about this guy. There was a ticket to ride. He had something, and he was scheming, and I figured I'd hang on and see what happened. He took us on to New York, where I again had to work for 2 years. But one day, as fate would have it, his invention paid off, and then that was it. We joined the elite like fish take to water. In fact, we had the whole group believing that we were born into wealth. But the only problem was, I guess that's what it was that ended up breaking us up, because we had to lose the past. We just had to. It wasn't working. So we got a divorce, fine. But I didn't get enough in the settlement. My cost of living has risen. The checks have not, okay? So if anyone here at this table deserves it, it's certainly me.
Well, that liar had me and my whole family believing that he came from a long line of wealthy landowners. He said their name was the Shit Kickers. Well, we found out too late. We were married several years when I asked him what the symbol of his family crest stood for. And he started laughing hysterically and told me the truth about his background. And that's when I walked out on him. Not for the obvious, but because he had lived a lie for 3 years.
Who are you kidding? It's all in the style, not the substance for you broads. God, he put you on a pedestal. He worshipped you. He was devastated by the divorce.
Sandra, how did you meet him? What did you see in Lawrence?
Sex, honey. S-E-X with a capital S. Sex. Oh, boy. He was a terrific guy. I didn't know anything about his money. The guy didn't have a pretense in his body, not a pretentious bone in his body. We didn't go to expensive restaurants. We didn't go on shishi vacations. We used to go to the country and rent a farmhouse and just get into bed and stay there for weeks on end. It was amazing. We had some good times, and he was so funny. Oh, we used to laugh for hours on end. He cracked me up. But yeah, then it was time to move on. That's the way it should be. And you know something, it wasn't until then that he even told me that he had any money. He just said it was good to be Larry again, just to be himself. I guess after all those bad relationships, he just wanted to get back to who he really was. I don't know, Tara. You're another redhead. What did you have going with Larry?
Oh, well. See, to me, Lawrence was a romantic man. He would plan the sweetest surprises for me, and we'd go on these dreamy vacations. Oh, he'd bring me home the most fantastic gifts. He treated me like a child. I was pampered constantly. I can't say at one time that I was capable of doing anything for myself, because Lawrence would literally do it for me, or he'd have it done. At one time, we were inseparable. I was completely devoted to him. I couldn't live without him. We were like one. And I loved that. It was wonderful. It was wonderful.
So why did it end if all was so wonderful?
Well, when we found... Because I couldn't have children. And Lawrence thought it best that we separate. You know how much he wanted to have children.
Great guy. Well, I suppose everyone wants to know what my relationship with Larry was about since I was the first one. There was a lot of competition in our relationship from the very beginning. It was very intense and passionate, and we fought hard. At the beginning, Larry was impressed with my ambition. He even joked about it. But as time went by, it was as if my career was a lover that he had to contend with. He was very jealous, and he needed lots of attention. And he never had a single job, not a real job. He was always at home tinkering around with his inventions. I have to admit a few of them were rather clever, but I didn't think so at the time. In any case, he was very jealous and needed a lot of attention. So I gave him all the money so he could feel a sense of responsibility. And it just wasn't enough. He started having affairs. And then he spent all the money and just disappeared off the face of the earth and left me without a single penny.
I can't believe any of this. Larry would never do anything like that.
You are naive.
Don't be so rough on her.
Just mind your own business, will you?
Was so generous. He made people laugh. He was always giving things to people. Nobody ever gave him anything. I was just hired as his masseuse. But then I started changing his diet and making herbal teas for him. I cooked and prepared healthy food for him. And then one day he just asked me to stay. I said, sure. I really like taking care of Larry. We did a lot of fun things together.
You were hired as his masseuse, darling?
Well, ladies, I think I've had just about enough soul spilling for one night. I think I need to get upstairs and get my beauty rest.
Oh, honey, I wouldn't worry about it. The cameras aren't going to be rushing in first thing tomorrow morning.
Well, you never know. Good night, ladies.
Nicole, not enough herbs on your plate? You hardly touched a thing, precious. I'm turning in too. Good night, y'all.
I've seen the level of women in Lawrence's life, and I'm appalled.
Huh.
And you were a total aberration.
You just couldn't believe that he wouldn't come running back to you the minute you found he was the best game in town.
I just love these women who are always looking for a meal ticket. Well, I've had enough of this group for one evening. Good night.
Come on, Nicole, honey, let's hit the sack. You need all the energy you can muster up for tomorrow.
No, I think I'm going to stay here for a little while.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is going on out here? It was probably Larry just letting us know that he's around.
Oh, don't say that. It gives me the chills. Nicole, you must be a bit chill, darling.
No, I'm just fine.
Listen, ladies, I think it's a little bit late in the evening for your silly superstitions. But then again, Lawrence was prone to women who were a little bit more peculiar.
Ooh, and you're in the best, shall I say, position to know.
I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Good night, everybody.
Night, Nicole.
Look, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not buying Nicole with Lawrence. Masseuse? Huh. As different a group as we all are, we deserve to be in the will, but not her.
I think I should tell you something. Nicole deserves more than all of us.
Yeah?
She's carrying Larry's baby. And he died before she even had a chance to tell him.
This is more than I can bear.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to bid farewell to our dearly departed Lawrence. As we consign him to eternal rest, we can take comfort in the knowledge that Lawrence looks down on us and rejoices at the demonstration of affection from those who knew and loved him most. For as we travel through life in preparation for eternity, what is it that matters most? Is it the material objects and possessions that we accrue? Surely not. No, my friends, it is the things that we cannot describe or put a value on in monetary terms. These things are what have brought you here today. The love and caring of one human being for another. Yes, in those terms I can see, looking around me, that Larry was a very wealthy man indeed. My friends and sisters in grief, I know that each of you has experienced to the fullest that most gratifying of experiences, the experience of sharing. Sharing, that most selfless of acts, has here been acted and reenacted many, many times. Such virtues and unselfish devotion illuminates each face that it gazes upon, and rest assured, my friends, it is that illumination that at this very moment lights Larry's path as he travels to that distant land, armed, if you will, with values that you have bestowed upon him here in this mortal place. Larry, when you come to your Maker, and he asks you for an accounting, we know that you will gain immediate entry to that wonderful place when you recount in heartfelt tones how you touched so many in so many places. That rendering will fill the hearts who receive you with a glow only slightly less brilliant than the eternal light. So, Larry, those of us who are left behind for
now that I'm here and
strength and restoration from your example while you walk.
really faced with his death, I guess I would have
There are
come.
the few who might ask, what did
Even if there wasn't anything in it for me, which,
why should any man have so many?
I hope there is.
Fie on those who embrace envy, doubters, worms upon the egg. Nay, food and ashes
He was always dead for me. But, oddly enough,
friend, comrade, and all.
it hurts to say goodbye today.
So clever he is to have us all here teary-eyed, mourning for him. Always scheming. Ugh.
Check out this crowd. They're wearing me out. Not one of us knew him in the same way, and look at the reactions I'm getting from these people. Ugh, this reverend is putting me to sleep. Spare me. And look at Nicole, so naive. I don't think she'll ever get the picture. Larry, your timing's a little off, honey, wouldn't you say?
Well, Lawrence, I love you, sweetheart, and I'll miss you. But maybe you'll make clear this whole event this evening. Boy, am I hungry.
When I die and I lay me to rest, gonna go to the place that's the best. When I lay me down to die, going up to the spirit in the sky. Going up to the spirit in the sky. That's where I'm gonna go when I die. When I die and they lay me to rest, I'm gonna go to the place that's the best.
Welcome, everyone. You all look absolutely beautiful. It's a pleasure to be in your company. I'm here to make Lawrence's home available to you and to provide a pleasant stay. I hope you've been pleased with the accommodations. Now to get on with the matter of business. As you all know, Lawrence sent each of you a letter requesting your presence at the reading of his will. He considered it a celebration and asked that you dress black tie. You have all accommodated to his wishes till now. The next request may be the most difficult you have ever had to decide upon in your whole life. You see, he's leaving each of you a tremendous amount of money, and all equal amounts. However, before you receive the money, you have to give it away. Specifically, you have to make a decision on which woman in this room you will give it to. By your decisions, you choose your own ending to the reading of the will.
You know it's a must. Gonna have a friend in Jesus.